having said that, coming back to the topic today, right? So I'm very proud actually that we have stood up to this particular thing, because we are the only party who are actually standing against this particular amendment to the Right to Information Act. It's no surprise, because left or right will be for the amendment, because they are the ones who doesn't want to give the information, because corruptions are done through officers. They don't want to share any of the officers' data and stuff like that. So I'm very happy that a centrist party like MNM would stand against any amendment on RTI, because we exhaustively use RTI to kind of understand what happens in the government, because we talk about honest politics, we talk about honest governance. That's what we stand for. Now, the amendment we feel is not for the democracy. The reason is democracy is for the people, by the people, and of the people, right? And I think in this way this is being conducted, it says it's not, because I don't see this amendment bringing any benefit for the people. I don't see the way the feedback is taken is by the people, and the amendment does not want to consider anything which the people want as well, so it's not for the people as well. So I kind of feel this amendment is against democracy. That's one. Now, what is our president is talking about in his letter yesterday to the IT ministry is very clear. Now, amendment to the RTI is something which is very serious, can have a serious impact, because RTI is the only tool which is available to any citizen in India as a tool of transparency and accountability, which means if they want to validate anything, if they want to really understand how the governance is being run, or want to understand a particular things which are happening in a department, RTI is the only tool which is available, and you're going to make an amendment in a way where you're making it very subjective, and people can really escape by just pointing out, saying it's a personal information. I'll get into more details of that, why I'm saying that. That is one. So it dilutes the RTI Act itself. Now, the second thing, it also tells us the parliament and the state legislature can get information, but then vice versa cannot happen, which means a citizen cannot get information as needed, right? And they're making an amendment that, personal information which are not related to public interest cannot be shared from. No information on if it's personal can be shared, which is very serious. Now, coming back to the feedback part of it, right, which our friend also pointed out, I don't think it's being done very well. So, anything we need to remember, this is called Right to Information Act. It's a right. It's not a privilege that you can wish to give, wish not to give. It's a right. So when you're actually making any changes to the right, you need to really approach the stakeholders or the people who have the right to see what they feel about. And hence the feedback from the people is very, very important. And the way it is done, number one, it is all done online and is very complicated. I tried going and putting in my inputs. If you go into the site, sometimes it doesn't work. And when you go and actually work on it, you have to log in, you have to create a login and all that, which probably might be an easy thing for a person working in IT or from an elite urban people. But then when they go to rural, real villages who also have the right for Information Act, they will have struggles. And our friend cannot really say that, in this world of IT, if a person is not going to use the internet, I don't know how he's going to use the information and all that. As a stakeholder, say, for example, if I hold a share in a particular company, I have the right to have the access to the financial documents and financial details, right? I may not be a financial expert, but then I can use that and consult a financial analyst and get more details to see whether my share is worth or not. So as a citizen of India who lives in a very rural village, still have the right to that. And I think he should be given an access by which he can voice out what his opinions are. That is one. Now, second thing, coming to the language, it's given only in English language.
Mr. Jerriman,
now,
point taken.
Let me finish 2 points. We are not telling that it should be only in Tamil. Pan India, give it in the regional language so that everybody can read and understand. That is one. And the timeline given is very, very little, right?
Of course.
We need to consider all that. And it looks like it's done for a formality.
That also helps in penetration.